Every single day I had to dance barefoot on scorching hot stones. The skin on my feet would scab over, tear off, and scab again, but I pushed through, and I mastered a dance unlike anything the world had ever seen. That one dance was all it took to make me famous across the capital, and the young lord's dream girl. But my sister Su Qingwan had been obsessed with the young lord for ages, and was not about to let him fall for me. So that very night, she grabbed her pillow and waltzed right into his bedroom, only for him to want absolutely nothing to do with her. "Your sister would never throw herself at someone like this." Those words shattered her pride, and she grabbed me and jumped off the city wall. But I didn't die. I woke up reborn. Right back to the day my father first brought me home. Father told the two of us to choose who we'd be raised by. In my past life, my sister picked our proper, virtuous first wife, and I ended up with concubine Liu, who was all music and dancing. This time, my sister made her move first and picked concubine Liu. That's when it hit me. She'd been reborn too. My father was visibly thrown off. He'd always favored my sister, and he knew how proud she was, so watching her voluntarily give up the legitimate daughter spot to go live under a concubine made no sense to him. "Why are you doing this to yourself?" "Father, I've made up my mind. Let the first wife take my sister." With that, she turned to head over to concubine Liu's place, and as she passed me, she shot me a little smirk. That look said it all. This life, you can be the one who suffers. Oh, I knew exactly what Su Qingwan was thinking. Last life, she was desperate to be the legitimate daughter and rushed straight into the first wife's arms. What she didn't count on was that, despite being the official wife, the first wife had never once been favored by my father. The whole courtyard was cold as ice. The first wife had zero interest in competing for my father's attention. She just prayed in her Buddha hall every day. And with Su Qingwan under her roof, she was kept on an extremely tight leash. Up before dawn, dragged out of bed by the maids to wash and dress, then off to the girls' academy. When she came home, there was no rest. The first wife personally supervised her on the abacus and account books until late at night. Su Qingwan was absolutely miserable. While she was drowning in numbers with a splitting headache, I was out at the theater with concubine Liu. While her wrist ached from writing, I was flying kites on a spring outing. And when we got a little older, at the fancy social gatherings of the capital's elite, concubine Liu had me dressed to the nines. I could sing, I could play, and every nobleman in the city was completely enchanted. They called me the most beautiful woman in the capital, Su Qingwan. Nobody even glanced her way. She had zero talents, and all those household management skills the first wife drilled into her were totally useless at events like these. The only thing she had going for her was her status as the legitimate daughter, which at least gave her an edge when it came to matchmaking. Then she fell for the young lord of the Yongping Marquis estate and knelt in front of the first wife, refusing to eat or drink. "Mother, please, go to the Marquis estate and arrange a match for me." "You're still too young. We'll revisit this later. Acting this lovesick and out of control will only bring disaster. Go copy the Heart Sutra 30 times in the Buddha hall." While Su Qingwan was stuck copying scriptures, I was at a gathering performing the Liu Yao dance concubine Liu had taught me. She'd been a professional dancer herself, and under her personal guidance, every move I made, every smile, every glance, was effortlessly captivating. Half the noblemen in the room were hooked. Word was, every eligible man in the capital fell for me that day. In our Su family, being the legitimate daughter is a joke. Go suffer with that old woman. This time, my sister didn't hesitate for a second. She picked concubine Liu, and life under the first wife really was rough. Step into the first wife's room and you'd find nothing but plain furniture and a single Buddha statue. You must be disappointed. Last life, knowing my sister's personality, she probably couldn't hide the disappointment on her face. Who would have thought the official wife's room was actually plainer than a concubine's, because concubine Liu's place was decked out in gold and jade, absolutely lavish. But I calmly dropped a piece of agar wood into the incense burner. I think a simple room keeps the mind clear. No amount of luxury beats the sunlight coming through that window. The first wife raised an eyebrow. There was a flicker of surprise in her eyes. She clearly hadn't expected that. "You're an interesting one. All right then, if you're willing to be with me, I'll take you under my wing. I'm strict, and what I teach you probably won't be fun. Whatever you teach, I'll learn." Stacks of ledgers spread across the table, abacus at the ready. The first wife stood there holding a ruler, completely stone-faced. "Stay focused. Zone out more than 3 times, and I will hit your palm." Studying ledgers was genuinely brutal, nothing like poetry or music. The numbers gave me a headache. Just telling income from expenses apart was hard enough, let alone actually analyzing the patterns. I'd start dozing off sometimes and the ruler would tap my palm. It didn't really hurt, but it snapped me right back awake every single time. The first wife set down the ruler. "It's hard, isn't it?" "It is. But I know that if I don't learn this now, once I'm married and running a household, everyone will take advantage of the fact that I don't know anything. That'll be way harder." "Everyone has to struggle with something. I'd rather struggle to learn than struggle because I'm ignorant." The first wife's brow lifted slightly. She had clearly been a stunning woman once. You could still see traces of it in her features. But now, in her plain robes, she carried a quiet, heavy sadness about her. Honestly, I really liked her. She was always reserved with me. But when the seasons turned cold, she'd come in the middle of the night to quietly tuck in my blankets, then slip out without a sound. But my father wanted nothing to do with her. He almost never set foot in our courtyard. That evening, he finally showed up. He came to the first wife's place once a month, just enough to keep up appearances. The servants buzzed around excitedly, the whole courtyard livelier than usual. But this time my father had barely been sitting for half an hour when singing drifted in from outside. Who's singing? It's Concubine Liu teaching Miss Huan how to sing. Before long, Concubine Liu swept in trailing perfume. She was dressed to the absolute max, dragging an equally over-the-top Su Qinghuan behind her. My lord, did you hear Huaner singing just now? Isn't she even better than I was back then? You remember, when we first met at the Lakeside Pavilion, I was singing this very song. I didn't think you'd still remember. My voice isn't what it used to be, but at least I can pass it on to our daughter. Huaner, why don't you invite your father inside and sing it again for him? Su Fenghuan rushed over and grabbed my father's sleeve. Father, we've both missed you so much. We have tea and snacks ready in the courtyard. Come listen to me sing while you eat, okay? The two of them flanked him on either side, all smiles and charm, pulling out every trick to get his attention. Within moments, they dragged him away. The first wife's room fell completely silent. The little maids couldn't hide their frustration. The master only comes once a month, and they still managed to steal him away. My lady, should we still serve the food? The kitchen made tonight's dishes specially because they knew the master was coming. Of course we serve it. Why wouldn't we? He's not eating, so we eat. Just because a man doesn't show up doesn't mean we women don't get to have dinner. Bring everything out. Is that pearl and 8 treasures stew on the menu today? That's my absolute favorite. I could eat a whole pot by myself. The maids perked right up and started setting the table. The whole room came back to life. Good girl, you've got some fight in you. After that, the first wife had the kitchen make that dish all the time. I had bowl after bowl of it, and never once saw my father in that courtyard again. He practically lived at Concubine Liu's place. Whenever anything new came into the house, food, gifts, whatever, it all went to her and Su Qinghuan first. During the day, Su Qinghuan would spot me and laugh so hard her earrings swung. See that? What's being the legitimate daughter worth? Whoever has father's heart is the one living well. She was waiting to see me break down, but my expression didn't change at all. Sister, have you ever thought about it? Singing little tunes is what entertainers and performers do, and Concubine Liu has you singing to win father's favor.